Two-dimensional image mapping is a method to visualize one's thinking by arranging keyword cards. The idea was born in the community-based health-promoting activity in Nagayo, Nagasaki Prefecture, Japan, in the year 1989. The origin of the idea is arranging cards with keywords and drawings on a horizontal axis to reveal one's image of life. After the first idea was tried, improvements were accumulated. In addition to the cards arrangement on the horizontal axis, the second dimension, the vertical axis, was added, and the procedure of mapping was completed. This video describes an application of mapping when volcanic eruption hit local communities and caused disasters in Nagasaki Prefecture. Video describes trials to reveal and understand children's life and the environment living under the disaster. In this video, a part of visual content was adapted from TV news broadcasted by NHK. One of the big eruptions of Mount Unzen occurred in June 3, 1991. Local communities were evacuated to prevent further disaster. Community people assembled at school gymnastics and were forced to live there for months. In September, Onokoba district was directly hit by pyroclastic flow and the school was burnt down. Video describes the classroom of first graders. Window glasses were melted away. Desks and chairs were destroyed. Children's narrative essays of the experiences were compiled 4 times in these 6 years. Children's essays clearly express their fear and stress caused by disaster. Third of March, in the class of 6th graders just graduation, researchers of Nagasaki University visited the class. Moriyama is a specialist of mental health and well-being. He started his research 2 years ago to reveal the effect of disaster to children's mental and spiritual status. In the classroom, Moriyama is now describing the meaning of two-dimensional mapping to children. On the blackboard, he put various stressful images as larger-sized cars, and he is encouraging children to reflect their experiences by these cards. Moriyama is interested in children's way of thinking and developed this technique of arranging and sorting cards. He named this technique as the mind chromatography or two-dimensional image mapping. In preparatory phase, Moriyama read all of children's narrative essays and extracted 18 typical images of stressful life experiences of children. Then Moriyama made labels for mapping corresponding to each of stressful experiences. School was burnt down, life as evacuees. Labels of stressful experiences are sorted and arranged on a plane. The horizontal axis corresponds to the degree of unpleasantness. The vertical axis corresponds to the degree of joy. Each children actually reflect one's experiences and visualize one's experience as a map. I'm interested in how children reflect and learn about one's experience and others' experience. This is Kengo's image map 2 years ago when he was 4th grade. At the zone of joy, he put no labels. This is Kengo's image map, this time when he is 6th grade. he put 3 levels at the joyful zone: joy of returning his original home, joy of coming to school by bus, and joy of leaving grandpa and grandma together. At the zone of unpleasantness, he put 3 levels: still wearing helmet, mask and goggle, school was burnt down, and living under the volcanic ash. This is Nagasaki University School of Medicine. Moriyama and Yoko started to analyze image maps of children. This time, Moriyama is interested in how children's map changed in comparison to maps 2 years ago. 2 years ago, only 3 kinds of levels are put at the zone of joy, such as returning to former house, mother is working at home, and grandpa and grandma are staying home. This time, focusing on 3 topics, the number of children increased significantly who put returning to former house level at joy zone. By observing these differences, Moriyama assumes that people are returning to normal life in these former disastrous districts. Then, how about the location of keyword cards corresponding to unpleasant experiences? Regarding the top 3 unpleasant experiences, such as school burnt down, living in the ash, and wearing helmet, larger number of children reported unpleasantness in comparison to 2 years ago. By comparing maps between this year and 2 years ago, number of unpleasant experiences does not decrease but increased. Although the disaster happened several years ago, most of children do not forget numbers of unpleasant experiences.
ところはやっぱり嫌だというふうに判断して、もうそれがはるか数年前の出来事であっても現在もそのことをはっきり
1 week after now, 6th grade children made their image maps. Moriyama's group visited the school again. Moriyama understands that the important step for local people to get rid of common disastrous experience is to reflect and share the experience among themselves. This time, Moriyama distributed all of children's image maps and asked children to take a look at the map not only for oneself but others. Moriyama wants each of children to know that each are not alone, but they are in the similar situation regarding the former stress and continuing recovery. This time, Moriyama read many children's essays of how they feel and think after image mapping.
一人一人が自分が体験したことをより理解を深めながら知って、その情報を共有する、あるいは他の人と共有できる体験にしていくっていうことが結局災害にあった時にそれにどう対応していくかということにもどこかで接点が出てくる。それをやっぱり共有していくことが本当に大切なことだっていう、そういうそれが一番大きな結論と言えると思います。